Hello YouTubers and Happy New Year. I hope you had a great holiday. I'm back. It's been some time since I made a video, but the reasons why I haven't been here, well, I have my reasons. First of all, uh, I've been away for a week up north, as I often do during the Christmas, and when I got back I got a horrible flu and a cold, so that really stopped me from doing any videos or doing anything at all. But I'm back now, but you can hear that I still have a bit of a sore throat. I sound a bit nasal, and if you see some heavy editing, it's because I've had to stop the video to do some coughing. But I thought I'm going to show you some interesting records that I got hold of. When I was on my journey up north, I managed to get a hold of a big pile of very interesting records. Some of them have a bit of a common theme. They are a bit obscure and also American. And some are more famous, but I'm going to split it up into different videos because it will be too long otherwise. It was good that I had a bit of cold, and so I had some time to actually listen to these records, because in many cases I don't know that much about these artists, and I had to do some research to find out more about them, so I would have something to say in this video. Some of them are maybe more probably more famous in the United States, but some of these were a bit hard to find out facts about online. And we're going to start with a record here, Gypsy Moth by Stephen Ambrose, from 1972 on the Barnaby label. Looks like that, very nice. And to find information about this record and this artist was almost impossible. I'm going to have a look at my notes here. Where do we have it? Yeah, this was his only LP as far as I know. Very obscure. And the only material about him is that he seems to be on a record connected to the Scientologist church, the Scientology church choir in the 1980s, but I'm not even sure if it's the same guy. So, but I have to say, it is quite good, and he should be more known than he is, because now I mean, I didn't find anything about him. I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know if he's active in any sense. So, but if anybody out there knows anything about this Stephen Ambrose chap, so feel free to inform me. Then I found an album with the duo Aztec Two-Step. This is their second album, Second Step, on RCA. American pressing, of course. Aztec Two-Step, I think they're still active. Rex Fowler and Neil Schulman. I found some other Aztec Two-Steps albums at the same place, but I wasn't a bit sure whether I would like it, so I bought this, and I think, it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's that brilliant nor that interesting, but it's okay. I didn't spend that much on this. Right. Then we have a lady, Elizabeth Barraclough, and this is her second album, High. It's on the Bearsville label, run by Albert Grossman. I haven't found that much information about her as well, but she was somehow connected to Paul Butterfield, and as far as I know, they dated even. That's what I found on the internet. And he plays harmonica on this album. Good rock singer in the pop dash rock style. I bought this because I was a bit interested since it was on Bearsville, because that is one of the labels that I find interesting. When I was gathering information about many of these records, and the artists behind them, it surprised me to find out that most of them were actually still alive, and in many cases still performing, even though most of these records were from the early 70s. I have here on the Sussex label, well known for Rodriguez fame, Billy Charn. And it's a record that's just called Billy Charn. But if you check the label, it says Billy Charn is looking up. So I guess that is the title of the album, although it doesn't say so on the sleeve. So, who is Billy Charn? This was also a bit difficult to find information until I found out that his real name is Billy Chernoff, and he's still performing using that name, Billy Chernoff, and has issued many CDs with music in the later years, so still active. And I think this was very nice country rock, well recorded, and some really great songs on this album. I think this is his only album, well, back in the vinyl era, the only where he used this name Billy Charn, so I guess it is quite rare. And you know that the Sussex didn't really produce that many big sellers up until, well, you know, a certain Rodriguez, but I don't know if that counts or not. Then we have this album, Michael Dinner, Tom Thumb the Dreamer. It's a fantasy album from 1976, with all songs written by Michael Dinner, and the orchestra or the band that accompanies him is called the Dinettes. I thought, well, who is Michael Dinner? I have no idea. I found some information about him when I googled him. According to his Wikipedia page, he's a director, producer, and screenwriter. And then the article is mainly about TV shows or movies that he's been involved in. Then it says, in just a short sentence, this is a direct quote. Prior to his TV career, he was a recording artist for Fantasy Records. Yeah. Nothing more about his music career, and I think that's a bit of a shame, because I think this was good, quite nice FM radio pop, very well played, and quite some really good songs here. So, but it's as if nothing is written about this Michael Dinner's recording career, even though he seems to be some sort of screenwriter, producer, and director celebrity today. So, but this was a nice find, and it's a pity that not more people are aware of this album and the music of Michael Dinner. I guess this can't have been a big success back then, because I guess there would be some more material with this guy. That's Michael Dinner. Next in the pile we have Jonathan Edwards. This album called Jonathan Edwards. It says it's on the Capricorn label, but the actual label is an Atlantic label, so don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Good singer-songwriter. This is from 1971, and this album produced a minor hit, Sunshine. Very nice folk rock, but I don't know how familiar he is today, but I was very lucky to find this. Jonathan Edwards. You often don't really think that you will find that scarce material on big labels like Columbia, but I found this LP called If You Sit Real Still and Hold My Hand, You Will Hear Absolutely Nothing by First National Nothing. And it says here that it's a rock theater commune made up by musicians, actors, dancers, singers, designers, writers, composers and friends that started a long, long time ago as a lost tribe in California and has ended up as a theatrical performing group in New York City. And yeah, it sounds like that. It's a bit hippie, pop, rock. Actually, it's the music is fairly okay, although I'm not too fond of the vocals, and this was the only LP, and to be quite honest, I may understand why there was only one LP, because this is from 1970, and I don't know if the whole idea with the collective was either it was too early or it was too late, but music collective, well, I don't know. But it's quite a fun sleeve. It could actually be a comedy album when you look at it, but it isn't. It's a bit of a psychedelic pop rock band. Yeah. Right. Oops, sorry. I hit the microphone there. Right. Then we have a record that I was very happy to find because this is good. Don Nix, Living by the Days. And well, Don Nix may be fairly familiar as a songwriter, composer, arranger, musicians. I think he played some Stax recordings. He played with the Marquis, I think. So he was a bit of a veteran then when this album was issued. It is his second album, I think. It's on Elektra and it's from 1971. It's a bit in the style of the band, I think, and that's a good idea because I love the band. Some really good songs. The final song, My Trade's Done, Come and Gone, reminds me quite a lot of The Wait. But where should you pick your inspiration if you don't pick it from the really great stuff? So also the cover is a bit fun because I don't know if you can see, but it's like a cutout here, and then this is like some sort of fabric. I'm not sure the English word for it, but it's very smooth and nice. It's called plush, yeah. I think it is plush, but I'm not really sure, but it feels really great. So they have really put some effort into this sleeve as well as the record, and this is a definite keeper. Don Nix, Living by the Days. I'm going to check for more of his albums in the future. I don't know how familiar people in general are with this next artist, although the Elvis fans are most likely very familiar with this artist's most famous song. Talk about Danny O'Keefe, American singer-songwriter. This is his second album. It's of the Signpost label. I've been talking about that label before. It was short-lived, but it reissued some very interesting material. And this record contains O'Keefe's most famous song, and it was a bit of a hit for him as well. Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. That's probably more famous today with Elvis Presley. It's from 1972, and he was, or still is, because he's still active, really a great singer and songwriter in the folk, country, pop style. Some great musicians on this album, like Bobby Emmons, for instance, Reggie Young, and yeah, Well, we have many more too, but I don't have to mention them all. Very happy to find this. Great singer and some really great songs, not just the opening number Good Time Charlie's, but many other as well. Okay, this is Pusette Dart Band, and do I have my notes about the Pusette? Yeah, American soft rock. This is their first album, and it was produced by Norbert Putnam, which is probably one of the most famous names here. It's on Capitol, and well, what can I say? It's enjoyable record, although I don't really think that this sleeve really says a lot about how the music it is. Quite, well, I wouldn't say conservative, but quite safe radio pop rock, but that's not always a bad thing. It's okay. Better than the sleeve. Okay. This next album and the next artist doesn't really fit in here because I've been talking about American, from United States of America artist. This is a Canadian singer and songwriter, Bob Ruzicka or Ruzicka. Not really sure about the name. The name sounds a bit Czech to me. There was a Czech hockey player called Ruzicka many years ago. This record is called What the Word's All About, and it's some very nice, dreamy folk rock pop. This is his first album. He made 7 albums up until 1982. It's on Signpost. It's from 1972. So this is as well on Signpost. I haven't found that much information about this artist anyway. What I found was on the website canadianbands.com. I don't think he has his own Wikipedia page, for instance. Anyway, very nice, I have to say. Pleasant, very pleasant, and with a dreamy philosophical quality, and some quite intelligent and nice lyrics as well. Yeah, it's recorded in Nashville with musicians like Charlie McCoy and Jerry Hook, guitar players. Right, over to an album by Kate Taylor, Sister Kate. Well, Sister Kate? Well, she is the sister of the more famous singer and songwriter James Taylor, who had big success in the 1970s. This is her first album. It's on the Cotillon label from 1971. It's quite inspired by Carole King, I think, and not that strange because we have a couple of Carole King songs here, and also some songs by Elton John, like Country Comfort and Ballad of a Well-Known Gun, and Carole King songs like Where You Lead, I Will Follow, and Home Again, and also a song by James Taylor, Lo and Behold. So I think this is very good, but it wasn't a success back then. She made another effort in the late 70s that was a bit more successful because she had sort of a minor hit. I think it was with a duet together with James Taylor. Maybe even James Taylor was the producer on the second album. I'm not really sure. But then I think she made a third album that wasn't that successful, and then she more or less gave up, I think. All right, so Kate Taylor. This was good, actually. I haven't heard her later material, but I like this. But then I have a softness both for Elton John inspired music and Carole King. All right, Live. Yeah, this is Livingstone Taylor, and that's a brother of James Taylor. So we had a song by Livingstone Taylor on the Sister Kate Taylor album. This is on Atlantic from 1971, and I think this was a bit bland, actually. I like the Kate Taylor album, but this didn't grab me. But all the Taylors cannot be geniuses. Next album among the Scarce albums, Sammy Walker, and it's just called Sammy Walker. This is on Warner Brothers, and it's from 1976. Very good. It's a bit Bob Dylan inspired with a bit of a nasal vocal style. But when I tried to find some information about him, I found like an article on Wikipedia, but the main thing that article talked about, the fact was that Sammy Walker was playing before Phil Ochs on his last concert, on Phil Ochs' last concert. And it wasn't that much more about Sammy Walker's own career, other than he's from Georgia, recorded for Warner Brothers and for Folkways, and have a bit of a Woody Guthrie styled deliverance. But I think he really deserves some more recognition, because not just that he was on the same concert as Phil Ochs. I have never listened to Phil Ochs, but I think this was interesting and good. Very well played. So well worth looking for. Sammy Walker. When I talked about Danny O'Keefe, I talked about the fact that it was a singer whose most famous song is probably much more famous than his. And you could say the same about this next artist. I'm talking about Jerry Jeff Walker. And how many out there knows that much about him? Well, I didn't when I found this album. But this album was being played in the store where I found the album, and I thought, wow, this is really, really good. It was this album, Being Free by Jerry Jeff Walker. It's on the At Go label from 1971. It's brilliant, I think. Great musicians, great songs, and great vocals. You get the idea that he's a bit of a country singer, and he's been described online as mainly a country singer, but I think it's much wider than that. This is a bit funky even, and we have more of, well, pop, rock, folk, and even a bit of soul elements in this. So, and it's very nice. But the thing that's most famous with Jerry Jeff Walker is his most famous song, Mr. Bojangles, that was recorded by, well, loads of artists like Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Sammy Davis Jr., Elton John, Nina Simone, Garth Brooks have recorded it, Chet Atkins, Dolly Parton, many, many more. He wrote Mr. Bojangles, and that's what he's most famous for. I found another album with him a bit later on the MCA label from 1978. Contrary to Ordinary. This looks a bit more country, Annie, but it is a bit more country-ish, but still not pure country, more a mix of everything that's good in Americana music in my book. Right, happy I found these two, and I'm going to look for more records with him. Great guy, great singer, one of the best purchases this year, or last year, because these were bought just before the end of the year. These are the last purchases of 2015. Okay, final record that I'm going to show in this video, Joe Vitale, Roller Coaster Weekend. Great rock and roll with Joe Vitale, mainly known for drumming, and but he is a bit of a multi-instrumentalist. He's played with Crosby, Stills and Nash. I think he's played with the Eagles. This is his first, I think it is his first album. He's from 1974 on Atlantic, and very enjoyable. He plays drums, bass, flute, keyboards, synthesizer, percussion, vibes, crowbar, tin snips. Yeah, and then it's mainly guitar that's being played by some other musicians. And great fun album, as you might expect from the sleeve. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this whole video, and bye for now.